Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Skip Mason,
pastor, preacher, historian, author,
teacher, librarian, archivist, world traveler,
collector, family historian, avid reader, and creator of the popular Vanishing Black Atlanta Facebook page.
But a lot of folks who love history.
Most importantly, he's our dad, who loves his family and who taught us the importance of our history and having important conversations.
Join him now for this episode of Conversations with Dr. Skip.
Well, hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to a NightCap conversation with a wonderful friend and one who was a part of our childhood and our culture in the 1980s. And I'm going to bring him up in just a few moments. Emmanuel Lewis. So delighted to have an opportunity just to catch up with him and to talk about some of the things that are going on in the world. I would ask that you would take a moment and host a watch party and share with others and share the link and invite others to come and share with us. If you have a nightcap, by all means do, because today is a day of celebration. Not only did the Lord wake us up, but today is my 40th class reunion, my 40th anniversary of my graduation from the greatest high school in Atlanta, Georgia, perhaps in the state of Georgia, Daniel McLaughlin Therrell High School. And so I want to shout out to all of the wonderful members of the dynamic class of 80. This coming Sunday, we're going to be on a Zoom and celebrating our reunion. And I was just on a call with a few of my friends from the class, and we had an absolute ball catching up. And we're looking forward to Sunday's conversation. So shout out to the Therrell High School class of 80. THS is the very best, the home of the mighty Panthers, and cheers. Amen to my classmates. 40 years ago, June 2nd, 1980, at the Civic Center, we graduated from high school. And it was my honor to also write and pen the class song and direct that as well. And so that was a great memory. But, you know, I thought that we would do something a little different tonight. So much is going on in the world and so many very heavy conversations that we're having, and we should. But to take some time to share with one who brought so much joy and laughter in our hearts. Way back when, Emmanuel Lewis, who starred and was the namesake of a hit TV sitcom called Webster. I know many of you remember Webster. I know I do. And he just absolutely captured our hearts. Well, that little boy is now a grown man. He's a college graduate. He's an entrepreneur. He's a activist. He's a motivational speaker, and he is making lots of money on residuals from Webster and all of that kind of good stuff. Emmanuel, my brother, how you doing?
Reporting for duty, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Look at you, looking all good and young and healthy and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you what, I was so glad to hear from you today. You sent me a wonderful excerpt of a sermon on Instagram.
Yes.
And I played that thing, and it just blessed my heart. And I'm so glad that we reconnected. I've known Emmanuel for a number of years here in Atlanta, very active in the Masonic Lodge. Now, are you in St. James?
No, I'm in W.C. Thomas.
You in W.C. Thomas. I'm in St. James. I'm a dues paying member of St. James.
The mighty 112.
Right.
St. James.
But it was in that circle that I had a chance to meet you, to get to know you, and share a very special common friend, John Bascom, who we all miss. I tell you, I miss him so much. I just don't know. He was just that kind of guy, you know.
He was.
But we are so glad. I'm telling you, just a great. So tell us how you're doing. We got to talk a little bit. We want to bring folks up, because you were such a young kid at the time. How old were you when you started on Webster, Emmanuel?
I started Webster when I was 12 years old.
You were 12 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the premise of the show for those young people who are watching and say, wow, I've never heard of Webster. Now I got to go find it on TV Land or YouTube or buy the DVD.
Hulu, I think, are the two places where I don't know where the other ones on cable are, but they are definitely it's out there. So Webster was a show about a kid whose mother and father were on honeymoon, something like that, and his father played football with Alex Karras, and they had a terrific accident where both of them had passed away.
That's right.
And Alex Karras was my godfather.
Okay.
And even though I did have a uncle, Alex Karras right there, he passed away, and Mark was still alive. Alex Karras was my godfather, and Ben Vereen, who played Philip, was my uncle, but he was on the road traveling, so he wasn't necessarily the stay-at-home, dependable, single parent kind of guy. He was always on the road, doing his thing. So I went with the Godfather, which was George Papadopoulos.
Okay.
And Susan Coleman Young. And then that's where we started the life. They had just come off of actually a honeymoon themselves. And my parents had came off of they didn't come off a honeymoon, they came off vacation.
Yeah.
And then Webster, Mam and George just came off a honeymoon. And as soon as they got back, there was a special package delivery at the door.
And wonder what that package was. Wonder who that was at the door.
Yes. And then the guy, Brian, which is the guy who played the delivery guy, Brian, who was actually our dialogue coach.
Okay.
He's the one that picked me up, brought me in there, sign off like I was like a FedEx package, as if that's all it took. But obviously it didn't. It was just being funny about it. And that's kind of how it kicked off.
That had to be an amazing time for you. I was just looking at a few of the pictures. Here you are with Elizabeth Taylor. No, here they are with you, Elizabeth Taylor and Frank Sinatra. This is at some Hollywood event.
That was the inauguration for Ronald
Reagan.
There is, I think that was Frank Sinatra to the left, Ray Charles right there. So that was the inauguration, the first inauguration of Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
We're
some of the other kid stars.
And this was I think this is the Emmys.
Maybe the Emmys Award.
Ricky Schroeder's have his arm over Gary Coleman, and then Fonzo Ribeiro was right behind them, and I don't know who else was there. And I'm just chilling in a white tub.
You just chilling in a white tub, and look at these heavy hitters here. I mean, Lionel and Stevie.
So this right here picture, most people have seen this picture, but they really have no context of what it is.
Right.
So this was the day before where all the celebrities came in for We Are the World.
Oh,
and so this picture was that time. Michael was teaching, was doing the preliminary recording with Quincy and Lionel and Stevie of getting ready to sing and create the song We Are the World.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, did you attend the actual recording of it?
No, I didn't record I didn't go the next day. I hung out the night before.
The night before.
We had other stuff to do the next day.
Now, this is my favorite one right here.
Oh, my God.
Lucille Ball and Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis Diller, Kirk Cameron,
and Ronald Reagan.
Good old Ronald Reagan. Yes, that was, this was the USA. The person you also don't see in this picture that's also there is Bob Hope. Because
Bob Hope is
actually brought us all together to do this.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And of course, I think this is Mr. T, right?
Yeah, so this is a Christmas story that we filmed in New York on, I think, 34th Street with Mr. T. Yeah.
Mr. T, amazing. Well, I mean, you know, you've just had an incredible a career. So tell us, what was life like for you after the show in Hollywood, and lead us to what led you to come to Atlanta and to pursue a degree at Clark Atlanta University.
God is awesome, ain't he?
I'm telling you.
It's awesome. All right. So, you know, my career has always been very, very interesting. And it has always been something where just when I think it's going one way, there's a turn and it goes the next way. And so I started out obviously doing commercials.
Okay.
And I started doing commercials, and then I started doing recordings in the middle of commercials, and I had a song that went #1 on the Billboard charts for Japan. Then I came back, I shot some more commercials, and I did Burger King, and that got me a Clio Award, and that also got the attention of ABC, Lou Ehrlich, and they came and brought us down to go to LA to do that. We did 6 seasons of Webster. I started
6 seasons? Really? I didn't realize it was that long. Wow.
6 seasons of Webster. I started in the 7th grade of Webster.
Okay.
So the last season happens to be my graduating year from high school.
Okay.
I already had a summer home in Atlanta, Georgia, before then. And so 2 years before then. And so by the time of the end of the season, which I think happened somewhere in February, March or something like that. I think in March, because we did an extra couple of years for syndication. So after we finished doing that, I went back to New York, graduated from Midwood High School in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then had the summer to enjoy. And in the fall, I was enrolled to go to college.
Wow.
So it was very meant to be, seamless. There was no gaps. I didn't, whatever. It was just go. So I went a semester of Clark. Every fall semester I went.
Okay.
And I would take off the spring semester so that I could work, because it was very unusual for me, especially being the breadwinner of my house.
Sure.
To go to school continuously all 4 years when I'm used to, I already had a career. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to get a job. I was just trying to maintain what I needed to do to, household, and I had a house in LA. I had a house in New York. I had a house in Georgia. So, you got to balance that with finances. You know?
You got to do that. I
took off the spring to work, and then I would go back in for the fall, and I did that for a few years, and then I just got tired of doing all the running around. Sold the house in New York, and kept my house in LA for a while. And that's the greatest. The
greatest, yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
What an awesome picture.
That is so awesome. Yeah. So don't even need to explain who that is, right?
No, everybody knows who that is. And you were on Jet countless number of times.
Well, I'm looking at this one, and I'm thinking, I was trying to read the bottom of it and see which one was
it. The ebony cover as well.
I think, I don't think
read it. You got better eyes than I do.
My first ebony cover.
Okay.
And then the other one I don't think was my first Jet cover, but anyway, it was. Those are great. Mr. John Johnson from the publishing of Jet and Ebony, and Sylvia Flanagan. They treated me with royal hands, and they would always bring me in and lift me up and encourage me. He was a great mentor, and so was she. But anyway, so I got tired of going back and forth. So I moved my house from LA to Georgia, consolidated both homes from New York, from LA, and it was in Georgia because I had more land here, and I had, the opportunity obviously to go to school. And so I did that. I went to school. My brother went to school. My sister went to school, and we just kind of made a deal of it. And
so you have, how many siblings do you have, Emmanuel?
Well, I have Ooh, I got quite a bit.
Okay.
I got like 5 sisters and like 3 brothers.
Wow.
But on some of my mom's side.
Sure, absolutely. And so you had to bear.
All of them are older. I'm the second from the youngest.
Oh, you're not even the oldest.
No, the Diane is the baby, and I'm right above her.
Wow. Well, I mean, it sounds like you were very, and maybe this could be attributed to your parents as well, but very shrewd in terms of purchasing property and investing in doing those kinds of things. I mean, look, let me just be honest. You are a success story.
Thank you.
I mean, given some of what we know about some of your colleagues and friends and who were child actors in Hollywood, I mean, we thank God, that God covered you and guided you. I know that's right. I know, brother. I tell you, because I'm
sure. You better give it up, man.
You better give
it up. Don't make me turn into a shout over here.
We can turn it into a praise match. I mean, really, what a blessing, for you, and that's why, you just, when I first met you, you were just so wonderful, so kind, so engaging, so human. I mean, it was just natural, and you are consistent.
You're a great guy. You have a great personality, and man, you're just an encyclopedia worth of knowledge, and Lord knows if there's anything that's out there that is worthwhile doing or you're well traveled. I mean, gosh, I'm like here when you talk, I just want to find out what you have to say.
I'm interviewing you. Okay, you are my guest. But listen, so why was it important for you to choose an HBCU, and why Clark Atlanta? And I'm an alumnus of. I got my undergraduate degree from Morris Brown. Okay. Shout out to Morris Brown College.
There you go, Morris Brown.
All right, and then I got my master's degree from Clark Atlanta University. Okay. So that's one of my alma maters. But why Clark Atlanta University? Why did you?
Well, originally I wanted to go to Morehouse.
Okay.
Originally I wanted to go to Morehouse, and because I hadn't heard of Clark at that time.
Okay.
Well, technically Clark wasn't Clark. Clark was Atlanta University and Clark College. So they didn't come together until 88.
89.
1989. That was their year that they came together. That's the year my brother started, was 88. So that was the very, very first year of CAU, right? So obviously I hadn't heard of that before.
That's true.
And so that was the merging of that. But I wanted to do I want to stick within my craft and, do something inside of that would be a little bit more technical, that would be a little bit different, and get some more background and understanding, because theater is the foundation.
Sure.
So I did speech communication, theater arts. Those are my degree that I actually was looking into.
Okay.
And theater and TV and radio and film, all of that was there. Well, none of the other schools in the AUC offered that. I mean, you could get like Spike did. Spike, got his degree from
Morehouse, but took all of his classes at Clark.
At Clark, right? Yep. So I was like, no, let me just go ahead on and go to Clark, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know, the legacy is it's HBCU. We good,
Well, Clark Atlanta was blessed to have you. I remember when you were there, and all kinds of celebrities. There was a picture of you and Chris Tucker. I mean, and you brought that to them too, but you got a quality education.
Absolutely.
As well. So you graduated from Clark Atlanta when, Emmanuel?
97.
97.
Yeah.
So after
graduated in 96, we're a year apart.
Okay. Oh, your brother.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So after graduation, what was next for you? What did you do, and what have you been doing?
I never stopped. So I was doing some movies. I was still doing shows. You saw me on Moesha. You saw me on Malcolm Eddie. You saw me on Kicking It Old School, a film that we shot in Canada. So I never stopped working. I also had a limousine company while I was in school as well. And we had an office right over there off of Huff Road.
Really?
So I was like, I enjoyed having business in Atlanta, licensed and all, all of that good stuff.
Listen, Atlanta is the place for limousines, okay? Look, these Negroes know they love to get up in a limousine and go to the club, go downtown Peachtree or what have you,
But we took care of a lot of different celebrities, and we had the season tickets for the Braves, the Falcons, and who else? The Braves, the Falcons. And the Hawks, obviously, yeah. We had those season tickets, and that allowed us to give that to our customers so that they could enjoy. They have a lot of town, and all they needed was to hire us, and we would give them there would be a package deal for the tickets to go to the games, any one of the major three.
It was a good business for you, lucrative for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
That's
and
great.
As I started to matriculate into other things, I really couldn't put as much time in it as I'd like to.
Okay. Listen, so you all shot Webster in LA or Hollywood rather?
Paramount Studios in Hollywood.
Paramount Studios. So interesting. Now Atlanta is the Black Hollywood. Would you have ever thought that?
Yeah, actually I did. I told my friends 20 years ago. So I told my friends 20 years ago that this was going to be the new Mecca of everything. And back then they had this report from the Screen Actors Guild and the Directors Guild called Runaway Projects. I don't even know if you can Google it now, but it was like a big old thick portfolio of all the information of why business was running off to Canada at the time, because California didn't think that Hollywood, they just took for granted what they had, to be honest.
Sure.
And they didn't think that they needed to offer any tax incentives. Meanwhile, millions and billions of dollars was leaving California, going to Canada on different parts. They had like a 10, 15-year backup from for movies that they couldn't even, that's how long they had to wait. And so I just knew that it was a matter of time, understanding international marketplace.
Yeah,
it was not going to be for too long before somebody realizes that it's just business. And once they realize that they can go in there and start cutting some deals, places, in US, they don't want to leave, America if they don't have to.
If they don't have to.
So Atlanta did what they were supposed to do. They put together tax incentives, and this is a right to work state. They didn't have to worry about unions, which they had to do with New York and LA. They had the Teamsters and all of that.
Right.
So because we were a right to work state, and because they were offering a tax incentives, and cost of living is very low here in Georgia compared to the bigger cities. So it was inevitable. And ask Vernon Jones. Call Vernon Jones. He'll tell you. There's a few people that know that, that knew me then, that I sat them down and I said, look, we need to figure something out, and we need to do this. A few of my buddies looked at me and they laughed.
Right.
And now they're, kicking themselves.
Yeah, they wish they had listened to you.
They wish they'd have listened.
Well, have you had a chance to go to Tyler's studio yet? Have you been out there yet?
No, I haven't.
Haven't visited yet? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't either, and that's one of my things to do, to go out and check out all of that greatness there. So what are you doing now? I mean,
so we have 1,000 acres in Henry County, and we're about to build our own project and studio and a whole network of things that we're going to do here.
Let me. Did I hear that correctly? 1,000.
1,000 acres. Yeah, we ain't stuttering.
Boy.
The ink is dry.
Okay, did he say 100 acres or 1,000? That is fantastic, man. Yeah. Look at you.
Dry. So we are developing the piece of property over there.
Okay.
And it's in Hampton, and we're looking to do some major things there in the future. And we're just kind of taking our time. We have no the Lord gave me that vision 20 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, and let's be real clear. When you're woken up out of a good deep sleep,
yes,
at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Come on now.
Who do you think that is? It ain't the boogeyman. I'm telling you that right now.
The Lord's trying to tell you something.
He said, "Wake up." And oh my God, it was. It
Wow.
was so amazing. I still feel the tingling of excitement from that very time it happened. So it was like in the wee hours in the morning, and I'm asleep. Somewhere I go into this REM sleep is what the technical people call it, right?
Yeah.
But it was like a download. It was like a download of like boom, 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 of all these things that was to happen. And I didn't have a time of when it was going to happen, and I didn't know where. I didn't have any of those things, but I knew this was so I literally, thank God, because I'm a creative person, and I keep a notepad and ink pad next to my bed. I got up, and I don't know how many pages of notes I had to write from that download. And I was writing as quickly as I can, almost in shorthand, just so that I could get all what I did not want to go back to sleep. I did not want to lose it. It was the most dynamic thing I had ever seen. You know what I mean? Wow. And it was just flooded. It flooded my brain like if they could put some sensors on my forehead and the back of my head, the neurons in the protons were just
so the Lord was just poured into you.
Oh my God.
And you were transferring that onto paper.
I was trying to. I know I couldn't nowhere near do the justice of the vibrance of it that he gave me, but I could write down the things that I could remember and things that made sense to me immediately. And so, and I did that, and it was really, really amazing for me. Now, when that happened, I had no idea when the rest of that was going to happen.
Okay.
And so I've been waiting and biding my time. And I'm like, man, 10 years ago, I was like, okay, 5 years after that, I'm like, I don't know when this is going to happen. I don't know what you need me to do, but I'm doing all my due diligence so that I would, kind of be ready as much as I could for what it was.
Yeah.
And so I called, Patrick. Patrick over at the, he was over the MBA school at Clark.
At Clark, Atlanta. Yes. Yes.
So Patrick,
you called him.
So I went over to Clark.
Okay.
I went over to the campus, and I went over to the MBA program. I'm like, okay, over in our entertainment side and, undergrad school, we did not get, how to do business plans and things of that nature. I said, I need to be prepared and ready.
Okay.
And these are areas that I need to do. So I went and grabbed Patrick, and we've been vibing all along, and he's my COO, and I was like, we got to figure this thing out and make it work. And I was so excited. And I'm like, Lord, you gave me the vision, and I'm going to be humble enough to wait for that provision. And if you've given it to me, then it's your will, then I'm just going to be patient and proud enough to wait on you. Lord. Now, here's the fun thing. I was going to the movie theater once. And this is how God tests you. He said, "You think I need help?" You know what I mean? I don't need your help.
I don't need your help, right?
I need your help, right? So I met it to this guy. He was an angel fun guy, right? And he was like, "Hey, Mr. Lewis, how you doing?" I didn't know him. He, knew me, but I didn't know him.
Right.
And he says, "Hey, how you doing?" And he gave me his business cards. He says, "We invest in businesses for 500 million and up. So if you have something like that, give me a call." And
500 million and up.
500 million and up. Yeah, that's how we started the conversation.
My God.
I go, okay, all right. I didn't get a warning. I didn't get a feeling. I didn't get a tingling. And when something is supposed to go a particular way, you get some type of unction, you get that divine feeling of assurance. I didn't get that. Okay. So I put that aside. My brother got hot with me. He's like, oh my God, he was so hot with me. He says, "This man just offered you a minimum of 500 million to do your project and you won't even take it. You know, when God wants to speak to me, he'll tell me. He will confirm anything he does.
Come on, you better bless somebody tonight. I mean, you're helping somebody. You helping somebody who's anxious, who's rushing, trying to get ahead of what God is trying to do.
Sit back for a minute, and he's either gonna give you a warning before it happens, or he's gonna give you a warning right after it happens to let you know that right there is something you need to jump onto. And I got nothing. It was empty. I was, it was empty. I didn't get anything from that. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, Lord, I guess if that wasn't for me, then, I would either, listen, he's got a way of making you run into people on many times just to make sure, like, look at here now, I'm going to put this in front of you again, fool, if you don't pick this up. Then, how many times you want me to send this camel to you in the desert? How many times you want somebody to skydive out of the heavens and above? How many times you want somebody to put that sand boogie to pass you by and you're in that desert? So I was like, I didn't feel anything, and I'm as obvious as he was to me to give it to me, he would definitely have, moved me in a different way, that discerning spirit. You better believe in it, and you better know how it works. Otherwise, you will make false moves.
Sure.
Period. And you got to understand how you are to be tested.
Yeah.
And so I didn't. I kind of settled down, and then the Lord gave us some other opportunities to create this wealth to be able to invest in it. And all I can tell you right now is God ain't good. God ain't good at all. God is awesome.
Awesome.
When they say God is good, I'm like, well, I don't know what God y'all serve, because that ain't the kind of God I got. Yeah. My God ain't good. My God is awesome. My God is off the chain.
My Lord.
Look.
I needed to hear that.
If you can't feel that,
I needed. I already know, but sometimes it's just good to hear it come from somebody else, because we have to learn, even now, that we are in the midst of the most chaotic time of our memory for many of us. And you got Pharaoh in the White House, you got a plague in the land, and you got the Israelites protesting, and the Egyptian soldiers trying to tear them down. But God said, y'all just need to hold on, that I'm working this thing out.
Right.
And so I tell people, I said, if all you can do is pray. You got to have foot soldiers, and you got to have prayer warriors.
That's right.
And so not all prayer warriors are out in the street.
That's right. That's right.
You got to have somebody on their knees, somebody talking to the Lord, praying, and teaching the children, and all of that.
And woo!
Look,
you right.
Look, I'm telling you. So, okay. All right, Lord, we thank you right now. Holy Spirit.
Yeah. I'm sorry to make this into a sermon. But if you talk about how good and how great and how awesome and how fabulous God is.
Even in the midst.
I'm a living testament of that.
Yes.
A living testament.
My Lord.
You said you think those numbers are cute, huh?
Yeah.
So what if I triple it?
My God is awesome. My God is awesome. So Emmanuel, you're working on your project now, and let's shift the conversation a little, because this is good. Tell me what's going on in your mind with what's going on with the world right now. I'm talking about the killing of Black men and women, Black Lives Matter, the president, just give me your perspective on all that is going on right now.
It's really interesting that this is going on. It's so biblical in so many ways, and there's so much going on. But there's that scripture in the Bible that you and I know very well.
Mm-hmm.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And there is about to be a serious change in everything that's going on. And what the devil has for bad, God has for great. So whatever it is going on, if people learn how to honor thy mother and thy father, so that thy days be long. If you don't do that, then you're gonna be jacked up. If you don't know how to sit down somewhere,
that's right,
and chill out and understand what's going on. There's a lot of young people nowadays that they don't want to listen to nobody. They want to listen to the elders. Well, here's the thing about not listening to elders. If you don't understand the history, you're bound to repeat it. If you don't have a seat at the table, how are you going to be there negotiating? So I respect greatly the young brothers and sisters that are out there on the front line marching and protesting peacefully. That's great. But it's a setup in so many different ways that we have to be mindful for. These people out there have planted bricks. Where do these bricks come from? Do you know how hard it is? If you're building a house, how long you got to wait for bricks? To get bricks. If you ever built a house from scratch, do you know what the process is for you to order some bricks? There's bricks underneath bridges. Where they come from? There's bricks alongside of the streets in good neighborhoods. Where they come from?
Yeah.
They got cameras everywhere, on every corner in downtown and over the highways and freeways. So they know exactly what's going on. I'm going to tell all my brothers and sisters out there, don't you touch one single red brick. It's a setup. It's a setup from word go.
Yeah.
So now you have police officers in plain clothes, okay? They broke down some of the stores, but it's like that baton, you know what I mean?
The Billy Club.
The Billy Club that you break down windows.
Yeah.
So they got that out there. So you got people out there vandalizing them and making it look like, the brothers and sisters out there. So now let's go back before even all of this happened. So you have a lot of Americans that, are trying to make ends meet, and they live week to week on their checks.
Yeah.
And you fire their bosses. Okay? You didn't just fire them. You fired their bosses.
Right.
Okay? And then sat them down and told them they couldn't work or make a living for 3 months. You give them $1,200 of your taxpaying money.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
The people's taxpaying monies.
Yeah.
Okay? Not the government's money.
That's right.
Not the president's money. Their own taxpayers' money. $1,200. Now, I don't know about much people, but you talking about where that money can go, that's not enough. Nowhere near enough to handle all the things that you weren't prepared for. Right. Nobody was prepared for 3 months of staying at home.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
I had a little idea what was coming down the pike because, we stay in a different network. You know what I mean? We're in a different network. We see what was going on. We get a lot of different stuff that's going on. And we saw a little bit about what was coming down. I went to Sam's, Costco's, everywhere I could go, and I loaded up a few $1,000s. And I said, you know what? We're bunkering down. I was actually
So you the one that got all the toilet tissue. That's why I couldn't.
No. Well, first of all, I already had a bundle in my house to begin with. But that thing lasts you for 6 months. I mean, God dang, how much you need? I mean, what you eat that you got to go that doggone money.
Boy.
Been telling jokes about that right there. I don't know what the heck they eat.
So what is it about toilet tissue? But that's another subject. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
might need to lay off the collard greens, because the collard greens and cabbage is like that, boy.
I tell you the truth, but
they okay. So that's another one. In all seriousness, that's one of those media myths that they put out. They put that out. That you need this and you need that. And then that was one of the essentials that they put out, not realizing that, people was going to bite as hard as they did and went, trying to get that as if it was, white gold or something. I don't know. But, we stock up throughout the course of the year anyway, just so that we're not, running out there every 5 seconds. Plus, it's cheaper. I mean, who wants to go to a regular store when you can get the same price for twice the amount somewhere else? I mean, come on. Economics is really real simple there. You know what I mean? So, but no, so all of that happened early on. And so now the financial crisis has already hit. So then you get all of these other brothers and sisters that's being slain by a police officer who have no weapons, who have no just cause. The kind of care that they were putting into our white brothers and sisters, and the leniency and the love that they shared with them is all that our people is asking from them now. I mean, I remember that time when that young boy shut up that school, okay? And they put a bulletproof vest on that young man, took him out, put him in the police car, carefully, gingerly, drove him by Burger King, and got him a burger, and took him to the station.
Yep. That's right.
He shot up a school and a bunch of kids. Now, this guy from the store says there was a counterfeit $20
bill.
$20 bill, mind you. Just call the doggone whatever and get it dealt with. But $20, this man lost his life not for no $20. He lost his life to change the world. That what's going on in Australia, what's all happening in Paris, what's happening around the world. It's like Muhammad Ali. He shook up the world.
Shook it up. I'm telling you.
So now, guess what? What they meant with that guy at that store, this is God right here. Yeah. What that guy meant for evil to go after, just like that lady in the Central Park.
Yes.
Over there. Luckily, the guy turns on his camera.
Central Park Karen. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, they call everyone Karen at this point in time who try and get somebody in trouble that way.
Privilege, yes.
Yeah, white privilege, right? So, listen, that right there was crazy. And you and I have friends in every nationality. We got friends in every religion. We got friends in just about every continent. I mean, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But we don't even see it the way that other people see it, because we're in a different situation where we see love in every different facet. But right here at home, we can't get any love. And for what reason? Because they are being taught that inside the police stations. They're being taught that inside the judicial institutions to go after minorities. Because what? They've got a quota. They got a quota for the jail cell.
That's right.
They've got a quota for their prison systems that's on the stock market. What? So there's a stock market for the private jailhouse and penitentiary institutions that people can actually pay and get on the stock exchange and bet against people going to jail and make dividends off of it. That in itself should be illegal in some way. Technically, I realize that there's no, legality, but it should be illegal. There's no way you should be profiting off another person's downfall.
Well,
that's bankrupt.
I totally agree. And I'm telling you that you're right, that George Floyd's death will not be in vain.
100%.
I'm telling you that God, and it's all biblical.
Yeah,
I believe that to the core. It is all biblical. And I find it ironic that Colin Kaepernick for 4 years would, use the knee as a symbol. Okay. And it was a knee to the neck of this black man that took him out and awakened a sin-sick world. And I mean, these kids, and coupled with the anarchists and the Antifa and all that, but these kids are out there. God is exposing evil. That's okay. Right. And
they're supposed to be helping. How are you helping? And you making us look horrible.
Right.
You're breaking that spray painting on the walls. They're throwing rocks through the windows. And then we got a few of our own knuckleheads that's going out there and misunderstanding the purpose of what we're supposed to be out there for.
Sure.
Very strong, stand together. Yes, show the world that this is not supposed to happen. But by no means, don't feed into the other crap that's going on. Don't do that.
That's right. That's right. And then you got the Pharaoh in the White House. My blood pressure.
Pharaoh? Is that what you call?
Pharaoh in the White House.
There's a whole lot of names.
That demagoguery we saw yesterday of him standing and holding the Bible upside down. Okay, I said, Lord help me.
He never cracked it.
He ain't never, no, other than to read 2 Corinthians, other than that, but he's never cracked the Bible, and we're not being just. Huh? No, he didn't read it. He didn't read.
Okay, thank you.
No, no, because if you open it and read something, and I tell my members, I say, get you a scripture that you plant in your heart. You may not be a biblical scholar, but if it's nothing but, I remember the first scripture that somebody gave me, and maybe I can't remember, John 3:16. For God so loved the world. They said, memorize that scripture. That was the first scripture that I learned. And so, God's going to work it out. It's a mission. God is orchestrating. These folks going to protest. They're looting. They're tearing down. It's going to be ugly before it's better. Okay. But we have to do our part. And I hope that that we still have this fervor and this energy come November.
Listen, if you see my Instagram, I said, take all of that anger and take all of that energy, and you make sure you get to the polls with all of that.
Bring a few with you. Because we can't take another 4 years of this. I can't. I can't take it. I can't take another 4 years, and we have the means to make sure that does not happen, and so we got to mobilize. There's an election on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to vote. Local elections are important. Okay.
Yeah. Very important.
Very important. So you need to go to the polls on Tuesday if you didn't get
I would say sometimes more important, because what we've got to understand is that we've got to be very mindful in getting the word out to the people, because it's the electoral that chooses our president. We may choose the popular vote, but we've got to be very influential on that electorate.
We got to do that.
We got to choose these senators, and we got to choose these congressmen so that we can go and support the people that we put in office, or at least if they don't support them, check them.
That's right. That's right.
Checks and balance in place for a reason. And we need another Supreme Court justice, and I hope they did to this current one what they did to Barack Obama, and not let him choose until the next one is sworn in.
But we got to get Mitch McConnell out, Lindsey Graham. We got to get all these cats out, but folks got to get in and vote and vote, pray, march, pray, protest, pray, strategize, pray. This is what I asked Andrew Young last night, Ambassador Andrew Young.
Yes.
And I had a good conversation with him. And he is aware and knows that some of the younger generation don't respect or don't want to hear from that group. Okay.
Right.
And I take a different approach to it. I said we can learn a lot from them. Their strategy got them to a point, but now their new strategy, but you got to strategize, because Emmanuel, I'm looking at all this.
Let's just call it what it is. It's just straight disrespectful in so many different ways. Okay. Yeah. So look, I understand young bloods, young ladies, young men out there that want to create their own direction. But at the end of the day, you ask me, how much did MLK and those that came before us, what did they get done? There's a litany of documents that they were there to have seen with their own eyes, to have been signed into law. So they were marching. They had a particular purpose in mind, not just for cops to stop, but put this in writing in law, make this a new legislation so that this cannot happen again, and then put this accountability behind it.
Sure.
So that when all of this is said and done, we have the legislative law saying you cannot do this, and then we have the legislative law behind it saying these are the ramifications that if you do it, these are all the things that's going to come down on you like fire and brimstone.
That's
and
true.
So we need to make sure that we understand that that's what we didn't have before. So we had different laws on the books, but what we didn't get is the accountability that if certain things didn't manifest itself, we were going to get some other things happening. So that's part of the other thing that needs to happen. So but we've got to have that written down. We've got to have those talks because, while they're marching, somebody needs to be in that office.
Somebody needs to be in the office. Somebody needs to be planning. The Montgomery bus boycott was.
There's a lot of bright.
It's a lot of bright.
I mean, college students, SGA leaders, and man, there's a lot of bright young people out there that can handle it.
Our goal now, Emmanuel, is to change policing.
Yeah,
which desperately needs to be. Then that needs to be a unified plan. We got the buses integrated. Mm-hmm. It took them a whole year, but they did it. Mm-hmm. We got the Voting Rights Act. We got the Civil Rights Act. There were many gains made. But what is the clear goal now? Okay, we're marching because we want to stop police brutality.
Right. Right now we're doing the mirror. Right now we're putting the mirror up to their face and showing it around the world. This is who you are. So right now, if you consider this piece right here, the mirror, we're going to shame you into submission.
Okay.
So that's what this part to me represents. We're going to shame you into knowing that if you don't stop, everybody in the world is going to know your name. Everybody in the world is going to understand that this is what you do to people. Think about it. Look at what Mayor did the other day and had to fire some of the Atlanta police department.
They fired some.
Boom. There you go. Because did you see the video that was on the clip where one of the police officers had his knee on somebody's neck and the whole crowd said, "Get up, get your knee off."
Right. I saw that. I sure did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. And yes, everybody's worried about the protest. I'm not worried about the protest too much. That's brick and mortar. When they went down to Greenwood and they burnt down all the black businesses in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, right.
Okay, for that. It was brick and mortar. They didn't care. You know what I mean? So listen, you killing people.
Yeah.
And you're killing up some buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trade-off.
Wow.
Who cares? The trade-off isn't that great. I don't condone it, but if you understand what the trade-off is.
So where do we go from here, Emmanuel? What in your opinion, where do we go from here?
Trade-off is that already the police officers understanding that, and the chiefs and the mayor and the city council, they already know that right now the foot is on their neck.
Oh,
okay? The knee is on their neck now. If you don't make a change, we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
We'll go sleep and we'll wake back up and we'll be right back at your back door.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be in the front door. We're gonna be at that side door. So if you don't want to change, we'll be back.
Listen. I'm with you. I believe it. But yet let me push back for just a second. Mm-hmm. Because I heard Jamal Bryant say something, Pastor Newbirth. And I'm telling you, that thing really stayed with me. He said, the problem we have, he said that this generation, they've not seen any victories. And he said, and I listened to it. And he said, during the 60s and 50s, those victories opened the door for the 70s for Black folks to crack the glass ceiling, to be in corporate America and all kinds of great things. Folks were moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment and building home. Great victories. But this generation has seen nothing but murders and no conviction. Let me put this sign up for just a second, because when I saw this thing really spoke to my spirit. And my heart, and it helped me to fashion and to see the angst. All of these persons listed, no conviction,
right?
No conviction, and each one of those murders created the same kind of fervor, marches, protest, picketing, the same kind of energy that we're having now, maybe a little bit more, but yet no conviction. Here we are now, almost a week, and they still have not charged the other accomplices.
Other 3 police officers.
You know, and so that fuels anger, you know, and this continued hatred, and this president is declaring the Insurrection Act and bringing on the military, and I mean, something that has not happened since the Civil War period, you know, and spraying the pepper spray, moving them from the right to protest and their First Amendment rights, so he can come out for a photo op in front of a boarded up church. Now, has this world gone to hell in a handbasket? I mean, it
isn't right. It isn't right. But I'm not going to say that we've not had any wins. We have. I can't agree with that 100%. We've had various different wins. We had the first Black president in the history of these United States. If you don't call that a win, I don't know what is. Okay, I'm not saying that was a grand slam, but it was close. It was close. It was
a big win.
Very close. That's a pretty big deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had a few presidents before then, namely Bill Clinton, that had so many top Black executives inside of the House. Now, maybe they weren't born for that era. They were born in the Bush era and before, you know, and then maybe they were born in Barack Obama era. I don't know which era they were, but we had some wins. The problem is we haven't had enough wins.
Okay.
I could go with the not enough.
Not enough.
Too many things that have been overlooked, and the Justice Department has run amok. So yes, so the financing has been run amok with not the leveling field. So the financing with the institutions, that's been horrible. Let's be very specific about the wins and the loss columns.
Okay.
Because if we generalize too much, then we give the devil too much glory. Okay.
I'm with you.
So no, he don't get that many W's in his columns.
Yeah.
What I will give him is that through the judicial system, that it's been horrible, and Black people specifically has been pointed out to be arrested for on whims.
Yeah.
I smell something. I see something.
Yeah.
I mean, I got pulled over once. I was on my way to the mansion, the Biltmore mansion from Georgia, and I went the scenic route, and I'm going up this area. I'm over there near Dillard, Sky Valley over there, which I used to go there, you know, a few times. Once every year with the family to do the chalets and do the Thanksgiving with the family, and kind of like the getaway where all the family would meet up at one location and we do the holidays over there. So it wasn't my first time there, but we was going in there. This cop tells me to, you know, can I search your car? No. I think I see something. Yeah, I see a person over there on the right side of the seat. There's a pool over here with some drinks for the road, but that's it. Well, can we search your car with dogs? You cannot search the inside of my car with dogs. Well, we need you to step out the car, go over in the grass, and we're going to run a dog around your car. We've got notice that people are drug running around this side of the neighborhood. It's a major highway. What the heck are you talking about?
Right,
you know?
right.
But I understand. Okay, I'm Black.
Yeah.
And this is a police officer that's looking
for something. Yeah.
Okay, I'm about as clean as they can get. I mean, you might find a Snickers bar up in there, but that's about it. You know, sugar's more addictive than anything else. So until they make sugar illegal, I'm gonna stay clean.
Got to have it.
So we had to stand on the curb while they put a drug dog around my SUV.
My goodness.
For what? So it's that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
It's
and Emmanuel, it's it's what's not caught on tape.
And because this was caught on tape, when you got a chance to see the man give his last breath, say his last words, call out to his mama who had been dead for 2 years.
Yes, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so he was seeing something.
Yeah.
He was seeing that doggone white light right then and there.
Yeah.
And we didn't also see, but there's 2 other officers behind that car holding him down. You already had him in cuffs.
Already had him.
He was against the wall, and he walked to the car. Then they put him in the car. Then they started pounding on him. Okay? And then they put him out of the car, then brought him back around on the other side of the car. Then they put the knee on him for 9 minutes. That man was dead before they did anything. Okay? They turned him over. He was lifeless. He was already dead.
And when he called it,
is breaking the law. Okay? Because the moment that they found out that he was dead right then on the then and there, they broke the law, because at that moment only the medical examiner was supposed to move him from that spot and take him away. So they broke the law right then. From the moment that they knew he was dead, they turned him over, put him on the gurney, and put him in that truck. They broke another law.
They sure did. Because that was not the EMS that took him away.
No.
Those were some fellow officers, policemen. They didn't, that was not the typical EMS that comes, when they
came out of there quick, because they knew that man had gone and
they all in cahoots together.
They were all in cahoots.
This is not the first time
they did it.
That someone has died.
They moved too swiftly, as if they had already done this before.
That's right. But they did not know what was to come.
They didn't understand that that guy was being so cavalier and cocky that he was looking in the camera with his knee on Brother Floyd's neck, with his hands in
the pocket.
Like, what you gonna do? Okay.
Lord have mercy. Well, now they know what the world is.
So the question is, what's next?
I was going to ask you that.
What do we do now?
Yeah.
What do we do now?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like the city council don't already know what they need to do now.
Right.
It's not like the mayor don't already know what they need to do now. It's not like the captains don't already know what they need now. What we need, see, at this point in time, we shouldn't even need demands. Not that we're not going to have any.
Yeah.
We shouldn't need any. Now, at this point, we need to have the council and the mayor come out and tell us these are the things that we're going to put into record, into law, and we're going to have our people just come and sit down. We're going to talk about the legislative law and let the leaders of our fine city do what they're supposed to do. Don't sit in the house being scared because of the people outside and whatnot. Stop. No, come on out. You asked to be a leader. You got elected to be a leader. Come on out. Tell us what corrective steps you can do so that there's accountability.
Right.
Mike talked about that board that they had. Well, they had accountability for those police officers and what happens if they do X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
So there's got to be accountability. But why do we need normal citizens who don't know the legalities of how to put all that together? Why can't the leaders come together and tell us, because of what has transpired, and we've been overlooking this, and we did not realize this is the biggest issue, just own it. That's all you got to do. Own it and tell us these are the things that we can put into law to correct what's going on.
Right.
They're not.
That's
you
right.
Already, you listen, ain't nobody going nowhere. Nobody's going nowhere.
That's true.
So get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Get ahead of it by saying what you're going to do, put it in writing, have X amount of the members of those committees come around, watch them put it into law, and see it work.
Yeah.
Because until we see with both eyes
right
that this new thing is being signed until we see that they're going to stop targeting Black and brown people.
Yes, yes.
No good reason other than to fill their quota. Because
I know.
the last of the month or the first of the month,
they got to meet that quota.
There's more cops going to be out. They're going to put more tickets out because they got to fill their city with X amount of dollars.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You right, brother. You on it. You on it, man. You are on it. I tell you. Well, we got to press on, and these things are going to unfold before our eyes. Those of us that are in the faith, love the Lord, pray. We got to do what we got to do as God works this thing out. Because God will work it out. And as you have so eloquently blessed us with the understanding of being able to feel that inner tingling, that spirit, and know that this is of the Lord, and knowing when to wait, and knowing God is going to move, because they that wait on the Lord will be renewed. We got to wait. Things don't move on our time. God knows I'm a witness to that. We have to wait on the Lord, and God will indeed work it out. Let me tell you what, my brother, I am so delighted. My last question to you, because I want to put this picture of you, a very
before you do that,
go ahead.
How about if we challenge some law students?
Okay.
There are law students in every state, in every city of the union.
Right.
How about if the young people are looking to make it happen, which it wouldn't do nothing but make me more proud than anything else.
Sure.
How about if we have young law students?
Right.
Because it's all got to be legal jargon, and it's all got to be done in a particular kind of way. How about if we challenge? They got the TikTok challenge. They got the Let Your Slide challenge. They got all these kind of challenges out here. How about if we challenge every single law student to come up with new laws that would end racism, and that would end police brutality, that would end the making money off of Black and brown people, off of their demise?
The challenge has been issued tonight to those that are listening, and to those of my friends that are lawyers and mentors and own law firms, Gerald Griggs and Louis Davis. He does so much great work, and mentoring the next group, Antavius Weems and Clarence John, all of my lawyer friends. And let me say about them, they are trying to bring up the next generation of lawyers to be socially conscious.
Right.
And Gerald Griggs and all, and my ex-wife, she's a lawyer. She's running for office, state representative. Y'all vote for her, please. Harmel Cody, those of y'all in DeKalb County, please vote for her. But we got to. Somebody said we need more Black people in positions of power in these offices. Well, we need them, but we need people with a conscience and with a connection to history who understand.
You gotta be groomed, so we get that. We get that, but we need We need the right now action. We need the grooming action. We need the next era action. See, one thing we've never had from way back when, we never had succession plans. For us, so we've never. That's the one
time I've heard this today. I've heard someone else said to me,
never had a succession plan. And in corporation, if we're running this United States like a real corporation, we have to have a SWOT analysis. We need to have some corporation succession planning.
Right.
We need to have all of that, and we don't have that in plan right now.
That's right. You're right. So shifting for just a second, and then we're gonna close because I know it's late. You are very involved in your work with the Masonic Lodge, and I saw this picture of you. Tell me, that's a nice picture of you, by the way. So distinguished looking. What? when I was really active.
You can't show me pictures of myself.
When I was really active with the lodge.
Yes.
Shout out to St. James.
Yes.
They did great work.
Right.
You know, I mean, they took care of, as they say, the widows and the children, and just did great work. What is it about the Masonic lodge that you are so endeared to, and why are you still active with the lodge?
Yes. Well, you know, no one's active right now because we're
of course
we're black.
Y'all not doing Zoom meetings?
No, we don't do Zoom meetings. We everything is in the flesh.
Okay.
No, we can't do that. No. It's a fraternity at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Fraternity.
It's gonna be a minute before y'all gonna be breathing on each other. So you
it's all good. It's all good. We got each other's phone number. We still know how to get in the door.
The old fashioned way. Just pick up the phone and call. Yeah.
Yeah. We still call. You know, first and foremost, we've got to settle some myths, okay? Because there's no way we can talk about it and we don't go back to it. So first and foremost, I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
No, I thought you had a little something in you. Yeah.
Okay. No, I grew up in a Pentecostal church in Brooklyn, New York. Tabernacle of Faith for all people.
They don't get more Pentecostal than
Johnny Washington. Huh?
I say they don't get more Pentecostal than those folks in Brooklyn. My goodness.
Fire and brimstone.
My God. And tambourines and Lord have mercy.
I'm so excited just even thinking about that. Okay. So we had our church, Apostle Johnny Washington, back in Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, New York. Of course, was the last location. It's still there, I'm pretty sure. I haven't been in New York in forever. But anyway, so we grew up in that background. My mom was an usher for the church. I was on the
usher board.
My mom was on usher board. That means we were in church
all the time, 6,
7, 11 times a week. And my brother was a musician for the choir, so we have a very strong Christian, God-fearing, Jesus-loving background. Okay, that's very important because a lot of people don't understand masonry and they're believing what they see on the internet, and they have no idea of what it is, and they're not going to know from what it is unless you are a member. That's of any organization. We're not a secret organization. We're an organization with secrets. That's like you go to Coca-Cola, and I guarantee you walk up in there and you are not going to get the secret recipe.
You're not gonna get that Coca-Cola formula.
they'll
all the herbs and spices for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I don't care how many years you work for KFC. They ain't giving you doggone
giving you that
spices. Okay. So it's the same thing, and everybody, tries to make a bigger deal out of it than anything. But if you go to any sorority or fraternity at any college, they're not telling you anything unless you're a member. Plain and simple. That's all that is. Obviously, it's there's so much going on. I'm not even going to talk about much of it, but it's a lot of good. We deliver food and feed the hungry. The people underneath the bridges. We provide blankets and socks, and we feed the elder. There's a lot that goes on in the course of the year. Fundraisers to put kids in college, book scholarships, college scholarships,
right?
All kinds of things all over. So we help people get their field trips. We help them to do a lot of different things in the community. It's endless. So my father was. I didn't find out that my father was masonry until he passed away.
Really, you didn't know that?
Didn't know. They didn't share anything with me.
Oh my goodness.
And I know a little bit about my great grandmother when she was alive.
Now, where's your family from? I know they're from the South somewhere. Before they got to New York, where's your family from?
So my mom was from Virginia, and my great grandmother is from Effingham, South Carolina.
Oh, Effingham. Okay.
Yeah, my father is from he was from Charleston.
Okay.
And so my grandfather is from Virginia.
Wow.
So, we're South Cherokee folk down there.
Yeah. And those were all of the ports for entry for slaves.
They
enslaved into the state.
Charleston. We got Black and Cherokee thick in our family.
Have you done the ancestry DNA test yet?
No, I have an ancestry person who is doing our family biology because we've got
the DNA test, Emmanuel.
Well, the difference, you can. I don't know, I think my brother did it, but the difference is when you do the test, depending on which test you do, they're not necessarily, I'm not going to say they're not accurate. They don't show different aspects of your family. But by doing the actual look, like she goes to all the places in different states. She went to Utah to go to the family genealogy. So we have our own family genealogist.
This is the ancestry kit.
Yes.
I've tested over 50 members of my family. In fact, my dissertation had to do with DNA testing.
Hold on 1 second.
He needs to do the DNA test. When that test goes on sale again, I tell everybody it's the best thing you could do. Mitochondrial, it gets your mother's side and your dad's side, and it is accurate. People who are looking for their adoptive parents are finding them. I know that there are a lot of conspiracy theories and all that about it, but I'm telling you that DNA test works. It works.
I'm not saying that it doesn't work. What I'm saying is that I have my personal genealogist.
Okay.
And what she has done is she's got a folder. She's got a folder as thicker than this. It's like huge, thick, that tall.
Right.
And what I get from her that I don't get from that kit.
Okay.
Is that she gives me family names. She's found me family pictures.
Okay.
She's told me what their careers were. She's told me the names of our families and generations. So you can't get that in that kit.
No,
so
you can't. But what you can get, is that you take the test,
right?
And I find out we're related. I'm gonna get some of that 1,000 acres that you have.
My brother took the test, so I don't necessarily got to take it.
Somebody asked me the test. It's the ancestry DNA test. Yes. It will probably go on sale because they always go on sale during Mother's Day and Father's Day for like $59. But
man, I'm about.
We're gonna get together when all of this settles down because I really want to see your book. I bet it's fabulous.
My God!
Oh, I'm sure.
Vanessa Valentine is my personal genealogist.
Yeah.
And she listen. The last time we were together, we were at the regional place over there. I don't even know if it was even open. They think
in East Point, the one in Jonesboro.
The one in Jonesboro. So we sat down there, and I brought my sister and I brought my brother because I had been going there regularly. Okay. And I said, "You guys got to. I don't want to be the only one hearing this." So she sat down there and she just took off like a rocket. She was telling me all our family names and how this person got this name and what careers they were in. And no wonder how I got my career because this person was this and this person was that. So she's like so far ahead in my family, and she's gonna go until she can't go no more. And
Is she local?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Miss Vanessa Valentine.
Vanessa Valentine.
Well,
so I'm so glad that you have delved into it. I tell everybody. In fact, I do workshops. History, genealogy.
Yes.
I need to do an online one. I just haven't done, my good friend, Matt Anderson. I don't know whether you know Matt. Matt is a good buddy, Morehouse grad. So he FaceTimed me today, or I accidentally FaceTimed him. He said, when are you going to be on again? Because I did Ambassador Young. I said, I don't have a set time. I'm not like Derek Bozeman.
Right.
The Patio Chronicles at 11 o'clock or 11:05. I said, when the spirit hits me.
There you go.
Somebody responds back to me and said, "Yeah, I want to come on." When Emmanuel Lewis sends me a message and a tape of a pastor that pours into my life, I said, "I got to have this brother on." So I was on my class. I told you at 9 o'clock I was with a few of my classmates,
right?
Carol and Wanda and Eric and Kim and Carla. Who else? Did I leave somebody out? Joanna, Charlene, who I've known all my life. Anyway, we were just getting together. We've been lifelong friends. We go back to elementary school.
Mhm.
So we were on and we were having fun and we were, going through memory lanes and toasting and that whole kind of thing, having a good time. I said, but I got to go because I got to get the manual. I said, into this conversation.
How was your Zoom? Your Zoom good?
Oh yeah, it was really good. It was really, we had a great time.
Well, let me go back. I want to make sure I answered your question. What was exactly your question about the Masonic family?
Yeah, I was just asking you. You're very involved, and I mean, I just wanted to know, why do you love the organization? And you really answered it, and because you love it the same as I do, even though I'm financial, but I'm not active.
Right.
It does good work in the community.
They do a lot of great work. It's a
lot of great things.
Scholarship. I didn't join fraternity in college.
Right.
I didn't live on campus, right? Okay. So I lived at home. So I went to school every day and I came back. So I missed, being able to pledge and do stuff like that when I was on the campus. And like I said, when my father passed away and my uncles came in full regalia, and I was like, whoa. And I was talking to my great grandmother, and of course she was, Eastern Star,
all of that, yeah.
1900s. She was talking about the Underground Railroads and a lot of things that was going on in the early 1900s when she was going on, and and she was picking cotton, and these people got in trouble, and this was happening, and so she was giving me like she was telling me about the Underground Railroad and that what her mama told her and what her grandmama told her.
Yes.
So she was
and so on and so on.
Information, and it was passing information on. And she was a sister, and she wouldn't, she wasn't going to devour up any too much information, but she would, to let us know that it was needed, and there were certain things that was going on that was important. And so I, it's just information, whatever, right? And then when I saw my dad, it was like, okay, wait a minute.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I saw my uncles. I was like, wait a minute, y'all not. But I was working a lot, so I wasn't really around, much. They were on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast.
West Coast, yeah.
We weren't really around to really talk shop and sit down and have those kind of conversations. I was a working kid. I started working when I was 9. So it wasn't like we were having, those long, father, son, uncle, nephew relationships.
Conversations. Yeah.
So I missed out on all of that for work, but I don't regret it because God blessed my family in a major way.
I'm sure. Well, man, I'm so proud of you. You just, may God continue to just pour out. Wake you up at 3:00 in the morning and continue
Anytime he wants to wake me up, I am there.
And continue to
sleep till about 4:00 in the morning.
That's the whole point. I said, Lord,
I'm so excited.
My sleep has been so off. So I said, Lord, you can't wake me up at 3 if I'm going to bed at 2:00 in the morning. I mean, this sleep has just really been something else, but it is getting a little better, and the spirit is much calmer, even in the midst of all of it. Last question: where do you go to church? You have a church home here?
So nobody's going to church right now.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Where are you going to church online, Emmanuel?
Online. So. I of course, I love, there's a few ministers that I would go and watch online because it was probably when obviously when you're online and you have different services at different times.
I mean, right now everybody's scanning. I mean, on Sunday morning it's 1,000 preachers on. Giving the word, and so you will not go void of the word. I'm one of the 1,000. I'm on at 10:00 on Sunday morning, Facebook Live with CMB Church. So you all are welcome to join us. But 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 you are spiritually rooted
Absolutely.
and grounded, and
I do
you have to
catch
continue to feed yourself.
I do catch a few. So, but if I'm going, that's one thing. But when I'm when I'm at home and I'm online, I might catch one or two or whatever. So it depends on what's going on that particular Sunday. Sometimes I'll go visiting, and that's cool too. And
Somebody said, get your plug in. Absolutely. The
I
Webster
love it.
Street CME Church, where the pastor is Skip Mason.
There you go.
Amen. Your friendly neighborhood church. We just want to be your neighbor.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
I tell you, this has been fun, man. I sure do appreciate it. And it's just so good to reconnect with you and continue blessings. And let's keep our world in prayer. But we know God is about to do something. And
absolutely.
We better hold on
out there. Let's let that challenge resonate with all of our people that understand what laws are out there, what laws need to be tweaked to be able to fit what we're dealing with here. Because maybe it's not a new law, but maybe there's some laws that need to be revised.
Yeah.
See, I don't know the laws that are on the books. I don't know what needs to be, whether it's a new one or whether they need to revise what's there. So we need people that know
and that can do.
Yeah, don't ask me to write a law. That's not my calling. That's not my gift. But those that do, we need to bring them to the forefront and have them put that together for us. Well, I can stay in my lane as long as I know that you and yours.
And on that note, we shall end. Shout out to my boy Eric Townsend, my classmate who was also in our group as well. Emmanuel, love you, my brother. You take good care of yourself. And continue to send me those good videos because that thing was really on point today.
It was on fire. So I want to salute you, the good Reverend Doctor.
Bless you, my friend.
My frat, my brother, my friend. Thank you so much for having
me, man. You have blessed us
to be in your presence.
The honor is all mine, and we'll be in touch soon. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, my brother. Take care of yourself. Wow, that was so much fun. Emmanuel Lewis is just an absolute blessing. I tell you, such a great spirit, and so glad to spend this time with him. And thank you all. As I told Mats, I'm on when the spirit moves. I'll give you a little heads up. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate that, because you could be watching CNN or MSNBC and the protesters out in the street. Sometimes we just need a break. And I needed this break tonight. To just kind of shift the gears a little, because we are so consumed 24/7 with the news cycle, with Facebook and all of these other sources, and we just got to keep praying, that God's gonna work this thing out. God's gonna move in ways we cannot imagine. Be encouraged, stay encouraged. God is working things out for you right now, and you got to learn how to wait and trust the Lord. And be of good courage. Trust the Lord and be of good courage. God bless you. Have a great evening. This is Skip Mason with Conversations with Dr. Skip. Take care, my brothers and sisters. Bye.